What's happening, guys? So I just finished recording this video for FormulaFBA. At the end of this video, I'm going to explain what that actually is. But I did want to share this video with you just to show you the kind of extra videos that are going to be inside FormulaFBA. So stay to the end if you do want to hear about that. But for now, let's jump straight into the product criteria you should be using to find private label products. As always, like, very much appreciated, as well as a subscribe. Help us reach the 100,000 mark. Let's jump in. But I want to go over 5 points. Number 1, sell price. Now, if you've watched any of my videos on product research, you know sell price is one of my favorite areas to focus on. And this is because it leverages fixed costs. And so if I give you an example, you can see these two tripods here. I just put them down and they'll be a little out of focus, but this one is going to sell for a bit more than this one because it has like these magnetic arms. But you can see they're about the exact same size. Let's say they're the exact same weight. So regardless of which one you actually source from manufacturers, they're actually going to have the same international shipping fee when you ship it from manufacturer to FBA fulfillment centers. That could be $3 per unit as an example, but it would be the same for both because they have the same volumetric size and weight. Also, once at Amazon is going to package these up, for example, in a box like this, and they are going to have the same FBA fulfillment fee when Amazon ships it out to your customers. Those costs are going to be the same for each unit, but this one sells for $70, while this one sells for $30. So deducting those exact same fees we spoke about, you can see that this one is going to have a higher margin generally. It's going to absorb those fixed costs more. And so our sell price minimum this year is going to stay at $35, but that is an absolute minimum. And I would highly recommend looking at $40 as a minimum. Number 2, reviews. Now here what we're looking for is not an average reviews on page 1, because this is something which can be heavily affected by one seller who has 79,000 reviews and just rips up that average. So I don't like to look at average reviews ever when assessing markets or products. What I like to look at is specifically where newer listings can begin selling well, at what review counts. Because this is more important for us. What we're looking for is ease of entry. We can build reviews over time, but can we sell the product with low reviews as we enter? And so in general, what I'm looking for is on page 1 of our primary keyword, the keyword people mainly type in to find our exact product type. On page 1 of those results, do we have 3 sellers with less than 150 reviews each? And each of those are selling at or above our sell price and selling over 300 units per month. And here I'll just bring up a first page with a Chrome extension where we can see this in action. And you can see these 3 sellers, less than 150 reviews. They're on page 1, each selling more than 300 units a month at or above our sell price. And although I've called number 2 reviews, I could expand it to be reviews and demand, because within that, the 300 units plus per month is also indicating to us we can sell enough units at low reviews. Also, if you're wondering why 300 plus units, well, at a base of $35, our minimum sell price, that's going to equate to over $10,000 in revenue per month. So that's the minimum in which it makes sense for us to pursue that opportunity. Of course, if your price is a little bit higher, maybe you're selling a product for $80, then you might only want to see the same exact thing, but with 200 units per month for each seller. Number 3, size and weight. Now, all of these criteria are actually worked backwards from our end goal, and that is to achieve a 40% profit margin before considering ads. So in this case, we want our total Amazon fees. That's Amazon referral fee, often 15% of the sell price, plus our FBA fulfillment fee based on size and weight, to equate to 30% of the sell price or less. Separately but similarly, we're also going to aim for a max of 30% of the sell price for our total landed cost. That's manufacturing and shipping the products to Amazon. However, we'll touch on that later. For now, total Amazon fee should be max of 30% of our sell price. So if we know that the referral fee is generally 15% of the sell price, then our FBA fulfillment fee should be a max of 15%, because 15 plus 15 equals 30. So we're aiming for our FBA fulfillment fee to be no more than 15% of the sell price. But what that means is your sell price is actually a big determinant of a lot of these other factors. And depending on your sell price, that's going to have an effect on how big or heavy your product can actually be, as we're going to jump into. You're likely familiar with FBA's fulfillment fees, as you see here. The main size tiers we're going to focus on today are your small standard size, your large standard size, and small oversize. Now, since our minimum sell price is $35, you can actually sell any product which fits in any part of small standard size. So regardless, as long as your sell price is above that, you are good with anything in small standard size. Small standard size is for products below 15 by 12 by 0.75 inches. That 0.75 inches limits this category massively. So it's only for very thin products. If your product sell price is between $35 and $60, then you do want to stay within large standard size dimensions. That's 18 inches, 14 inches, 8 inches. You do not want to exceed that if you want to keep your FBA fulfillment fee to 15% of the sell price or less. And if your product sell price is above $80, you can actually exceed 18, 14, 8, large standard size, and move into small oversize. Small oversize, by the way, is for products where the longest dimensions are still less than 60 inches by 30 inches. But careful calculations are needed. These are just broad overviews per sell price. What I've done is built a download for you, and this is going to indicate at different sell prices the maximum dimensions and weight to aim for if you want to follow this approach. This is going to be a FormulaFBA exclusive, but you can download it right below. Here you can see different sell price points. So let's say your product is $39.99. That's a $40 sell price. Then you want to stay within large standard size at a max outbound shipping weight of 2.5 pounds. If you do so, then your maximum FBA fee, okay, if it's up to this, it could be below, of course, but your max fee is going to be $6.10, which is going to keep it at 15% of the sell price. In the next column here, you can see the max unit weight. And again, that's when you take your product and you place it on a scale like you would normally weigh a product. That is your unit weight. And we want that to be a max of 2.49 pounds because that stays below 2.5. Max dimensional weight, also below 2.49 pounds. Max dimensional weight is you take your packaged product as it arrives at a customer. Okay, you take the full packaged product. Don't take your product out of its branded packaging or anything. The full finalized unit. Get the length, height, and width. You're going to multiply those out. For example, here, 10 times 8 times 4 inches. Okay, our dimensions, multiply those out and we get 320. Then just divide 320, the big answer you get, by 139. That's going to give you your dimensional weight. In this case, 2.3 pounds. And again, that would be below our max dimensional weight shown here, 2.49 pounds. And something I quickly want to mention for those of you who don't know this, the reason we have a max unit weight and a max dimensional weight is because Amazon's going to simply choose the greater of either of these for your product. So you must calculate both. Just because your unit weight when you put your product on a scale is below your target category and fee does not mean you're all good. You must also calculate dimensional weight, because if that exceeds your unit weight, Amazon will choose the dimensional one. So we want to keep both of those below. That is the reason for that. Amazon always chooses the greater of those two. And what I've tried to achieve here, it's very loose, so always do this yourself, but you can also hover over these boxes and it gives you a very detailed description of what each of these are. Very small here, but you'll be able to read it better on your own screen. But what I've done is inserted an example of the max dimensions. So I've just chosen a certain configuration, length, width, height, etc. But I've maxed out those dimensions to get it as close as possible to our max dimensional weight, in this case 2.49 pounds, without exceeding it. So I've given you an example of the max dimensions, but of course your dimensions might differ. Your height might be much smaller, but your length a lot longer, etc. But it gives you a good idea of the max dimensions to aim for as well as weight. You can see the same from $35 all the way to $60, where it's going to differ at each price stage. All of those would also be good for small standard size. And remember, for each sell price level here, that's the max. So your unit weight or dimensional weight could both be lower, and your FBA fee is going to be even less than 15%. So these are just the maxes where you will still achieve FBA fee of 15%. But of course, lower is even better. Then your FBA fee could be 10% of the sell price. Then we get to an $80 sell price, $100 and $120. Now in these cases, you can also look at the small oversize area. But if we look at $80 sell price, large standard size, less than 18 pounds is going to be good with the FBA fee of just under 12. Again, your max unit and dimensional. And here I haven't actually calculated the dimensional weight. And that's because remember, in large standard size, the max dimensions are 18 by 14 by 8 inches. Your product cannot fit in large standard size if it exceeds that. But the maximum dimensional weight that you can get from that, 18 times 14 times 8 divided by 139 is 14.5 pounds. So you only need to calculate dimensional weight if your unit weight is less than 14.5 pounds. Said another way, if your unit weight is 14.5 pounds or more in large standard size, then you do not need to worry about dimensional weight, because your unit weight is always going to exceed dimensional weight in large standard size. But at an $80 sell price, we can also look at the small oversized tier and keep the product weight below 6 pounds. Again, that's for unit and dimensional weight. As an example, if your product measures 22 by 6 by 6, because remember that would exceed 18 by 14 by 8, so it would not fit large standard size anymore, it's too long. But 22 by 6 by 6, we're going to multiply those out and get a dimensional weight of 5.7 pounds. And I've done the exact same for the next two price points. So this should give you a very good idea of the maximums to aim for, but still keep your FBA fulfillment fee at less than 15%. This is what I would aim for in terms of size and weight based on your sell price. And so you can see it's not just a one size fits all here. Don't sell products above this weight or size. It really comes down to what you end up selling the product for, because your fee is going to impact margins. And that's something we can work from. And putting together what we've done so far, if we're selling a product at $40, then we're going to ensure that that product in terms of packaged, finalized size and weight is going to fit below large standard size with an outbound shipping weight max 2.5 pounds. That ensures our fee is a max of $6.10. That's our FBA fulfillment fee. Now our referral fee, our Amazon referral fee, is different, and that's based on the sell price. 15% of the sell price, that's $6. So our total Amazon fees here are $12.10, which is 30.25%. So just above what we're aiming for, but that's close enough to 30% of the sell price. Our landed product cost, that's manufacturing and shipping this to FBA, $11.50. We deduct all of that from our sell price, we get $16.40. That is a 41% profit margin before considering ads. And that is our goal at this point. Number 4, categories. So should you be choosing one category? Is one category better than another when you're doing your research? And personally, I do not think that you should narrow your research based on categories. That's because every category has areas of high competition and low competition. Every category has profitable and creative opportunities. And the vast majority of categories, like 90% of them, have the same referral fee. So you're not going to be saving in terms of that. It's just very often 15%. Again, I don't recommend solely focusing on these, but it is worth knowing that the lowest Amazon referral fee categories are automotive and power sports at 12%, business, industrial, and scientific supplies 12%, and consumer electronics at 8%. So those are slightly lower, and again, you're going to be increasing your margin slightly. However, based on all the opportunities and how marginal that difference can end up being, I really think you should not narrow based on this alone. All categories definitely represent an opportunity. And 5, product nature. Now this is about selling electronics or glass products, etc., about the nature of the products. I get a lot of questions on this. Now, I don't recommend following the old adages of, the shoebox rule or not selling complex products, because very often that is the reason that those areas end up actually being an opportunity for the seller who's willing to put in the work. As mentioned, one of the old adages is it should just fit in a shoebox. It's just the shoebox rule. Well, as we just looked at, sell price is a huge determinant of that. So I wouldn't follow that. It's much more intricate, and as long as you do the work, you're going to be far more accurate, because even a much bigger product, provided the sell price is higher, as we've looked at, can be much more profitable than a product that just fits in a shoebox. Another old adage is to avoid electronic, glass, or complex products. And sure, if you do want the simplest selling journey, that's what you should do. However, our goal is not simplicity, it's profitability. Then combine that with the fact that these adages spread like wildfire, so a lot of sellers are going to avoid these areas. That could mean your competition just got cut in half. Plus, most of these downsides to these areas or these niches are overcomable. They're things you can work out. For example, if you see a ton of these glass whiskey decanters selling well and with very positive reviews, that means they're being sold successfully and fulfilled to customers successfully without much breakage. So instead of just discarding all glass products, rather order them. See how they're packaged and implement the same, because we have evidence that it can be done successfully already. Is there risk? Yes. Is it maybe going to take a bit more work in terms of ensuring packaging is perfect? Yes. But for the seller willing to put in the work here, it could end up being a much less competitive area, which they can compete and sell very successfully in long term. In short, I would avoid just simply discarding all of these products, trying to avoid all problems. Rather, evaluate them. See if you can overcome those problems, then make a decision. But those are the 5 criteria or insight points I would use as your basis for your research. So if you're inserting criteria into a product database, for example, even if you're just scouring Amazon pages for ideas, this is what I would use as a basis as you start digging a bit further into those ideas. Remember, you can download that document right below this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Now, for those of you who want to know more about FormulaFBA, what I've decided to do is actually create a separate program. So yes, you could see this as a course, but it's very different. It's actually going to be a combination of our existing YouTube videos and some brand new videos, such as this one you just saw, but there's a big difference. It's going to be step by step in sequence. In addition though, as with this one, there's going to actually be downloadable content. So wherever I can, I've included resources, documents, downloads, workable sheets, and last but certainly not least is anyone who does join this also gets access to our private Seller Squad Facebook group. So in there, you can ask me your questions, you can collab with our most serious sellers within this community. So it's really looking at creating a new area, which is going to take all our piecemeal content all over YouTube and brand new content to make a comprehensive process you can move through with resources at every single step, and a community, a backing, an area where you can ask me or other sellers your questions. Now, it is not complete, but there are primarily 2 reasons I'm putting this together. The first is you guys. You guys have asked for something along these lines. Every day I get questions about which of these videos is the better one to watch now, which one's up to date, which video should I watch next so I don't miss a critical piece of info. But the other primary reason is I've been thinking about what I love doing, and that is when I do, for example, my private analysis via the Wizio page, where I can really get into a seller's business, idea, opportunity, problem. I really enjoy working with the most serious sellers relationships we have. And so that's the second reason, is I want to develop more relationships like that to focus more on sellers and their journeys in this Formula FBA area. But I really want to reiterate, this is going to include some of our existing YouTube videos. That is for two reasons. Number one, I want to keep the cost of production around this low so that the price to you can be low. But reason two is that some of those tutorials, I was so entrenched in that current process in my own business or what have you, that I cannot actually teach it better by just redoing it now and increasing the cost. So it's not going to be free, but it's also not going to be $9,997. I'm not going to commit to a number just yet. However, what I do want to do is put a wait list together. So if you do want to take advantage of this, if you already know you're going to want to do it, I am going to put a waitlist link in the pinned comment below. The reason I want to do a waitlist is I do want some soundboarding. So I want to limit the number of students just in the beginning, just to hear what you love, hate, and adjust from there before opening that further. But again, guys, this is still a number of weeks out, but I did want to let you know kind of what I'm working on. Get your thoughts as well in the comments below. But if you did enjoy this one, this snippet of what's going to be in there, please do smash like for me, subscribe to the channel. We will keep all the content coming out here. If you're not interested in that and you just want to watch the channel here, do not worry, that's going to continue as per normal. Also, a big thank you for 60,000 subscribers, which we just passed a couple of days ago. Appreciate all of you, and I will catch you in the next video.